Ladies and gentlemen, my name is TotalBiscuit, and we're going to do some Darkspore co-op, since we promised it's not really a WTF is. I've already done a fairly large amount on Darkspore in the beta, so thought we'd knock around with the co-op a little bit, since we couldn't get that to work in the beta. And joining me, we have the one and only Feartheflames, aka Dave, who is the voice of reason in my Rift video. Welcome to the show.
Once again, howdy howdy.
Yes, indeed. So, we're not too far through this game. I know you're a little bit further through it than I am, but we're going to knock about in the campaign, and I believe you might be in control of the campaign, actually, by the looks of it, because I can't actually select anything at the moment.
I am, but have no fear. I will sort things out. It won't actually let me choose a level that you've done. No, not done anyway, so
not
I've
done,
got to
yeah.
start
Yeah, that's cool.
1-3 with you.
Yeah. The matchmaking system in this game seems to be pretty good from what I've seen, actually. It's very, very quick and easy to get into a game with somebody, and to be fair, that's the optimal way of doing things.
And yet, if you actually sit in the lobby, everyone is yelling and screaming about the matchmaking system, and apparently it's still a horrible abomination, and it doesn't actually work.
It's still broken. Yeah,
well,
that's really
I've had no issues
unfortunate.
with it. At all.
Yeah,
it works flawlessly for me, but...
back in the beta we had problems. I couldn't get into a match-made thing at all, and then other people had no problems. So that to me seems very, very odd indeed. But I think
the PvP matchmaking earlier, and it was quite funny. Me and my housemate joined for the PvP matchmaking on our own, and we got partnered up against each other. So if we were the only two doing it or something, I'm not sure.
Yeah, you're the only two people in the world that it actually works for. Congratulations on that one. Forever
everyone
alone.
else is probably doing PvE.
Yeah, well, I don't really rate the PvP as all that high right now. I think it's gonna be. It's good that it's in the game, and I think that it'll probably develop as you go in. I don't know why people are prioritizing PvP right now, because that seems like the kind of thing you want to do once everyone's got the optimum gear and they've figured out
you're able to do the
what the best setup
level,
is.
yeah. Because there's
exactly.
the 3-tier system, isn't there? I mean, once you've done it through on normal, you then have to go through and do it again, and then again,
yeah.
so...
Yeah, it's the same as Diablo was, it's the same as Titan Quest was as well. It's got 3 difficulty levels, you gotta beat one notable, not the next. There's nothing wrong with it, that's what hack and slashes are all about, isn't it? So, when we're picking up gear here, are we getting individual gear, or are we both getting copies of the same gear, or what?
When a piece of loot drops, it's then rolled by the system for us, and one of us will win it, and then if you hit I, it'll open up an inventory system, and if you go to your recently acquired items, which are all nicely organized for you, you can then drop individual pieces, and then if you drop something, it won't re-roll for it. Which, you know, because if it did that, it would be pretty dumb. You drop an item and then it re-rolls, and it just keeps dumping it back.
That would be fairly ridiculous, yeah. Yeah, and I actually like the way that the loot seems to work in this game. I like the fact that the challenge system that's sort of at the end of each level, where it says, well, you've got a shot at these items, or you can go to a harder level and get a shot at some better ones.
Those are actually, I really love that system, and I like that system because it's favouring me a lot. I've only missed my rolls 3 times since I started playing this game, whereas my housemate has only managed to successfully complete the roll once. So he has always failed the roll, whereas I've always succeeded in the roll. So I'm getting all the nice shiny loot, and I
haven't got anything out of it yet. I've got no rarefied items, which seem like the highest level at the time. We don't know how high you can really go. I assume that there are more than just rarefied in the game, and you've got to get a much higher difficulty level. Yeah, I would think so.
What was the other hero you were using? Just switch back to the one you were using before this guy.
What, Blitz? He's just the starting hero, it's just I've put a ton of stuff on him.
Yeah, it wasn't so much his, the hero you were using, it's the colour scheme you're going with. He looks like some sort of punk rock rebellion skittle.
He doesn't care what you think. He is against all authorities, that I can guarantee.
Does he stand up against the Darkspore man?
Pretty much, yeah. Darkspore is just getting up in my grill. I'm pretty sure that punk rockers don't actually say things like that, but yeah, I'm English and also very white, so...
I'm sure your commenters will instantly jump on anything to do with it, and show you the error of your ways.
At all. You can rely on them for that, certainly. But yeah, the colour scheme thing's weird because...
You can't change the skin.
That... Yeah, we said this in beta, didn't we? That it's really unfortunate that you can't really change individual colors on it. Because, for instance, I would like to change the color of my energy saber thing on my big stompy sentinel dude that I have right here. You know, he has a yellow energy saber. I want it to be a different color, and as far as I can tell, there's no way to do that.
The big rock guy at the start, I can't remember the name of. If you try and color scheme him with any apart from 2, it just looks like you're painting a Go Faster stripe down his chest. He will stay bright orange all over, apart from a very tiny strip of paint. And that to me is just, it's disappointing.
It is, because you know the creature creator is capable of more than that. That's the stupid thing about it. And it does use the creature creator from Spore, which... it does a fairly good job of it. It just seems like a basic thing, like being able to color different areas of your character, as opposed to the color scheme options, which is pretty much what? Detail and a selection of stripy skins, and there's only about 2 pages of them, and you've got a color palette choice.
Well, I wouldn't mind limited. If you unlocked more. You know, I wouldn't mind that as an option, but at the moment it seems like it's a real letdown when it comes to that kind of customization. So I mean, if I switch to this guy, I can't change his green at all. So I can just paint him with the Go Faster red, and that's it. Like, I can't...
and you have a problem with that guy, really, because, honestly, he does look like a mutant cross between an ogre and Aquaman.
I was more thinking the Incredible Hulk and Aquaman, but alright, I'll switch back to...
Aquaman is in there one way or the other, and that can never be a good thing.
Aquaman is greatest superhero? What are you talking about?
Seriously, if you're gonna troll, make it less obvious.
No man, he can talk to fishes. How is that not a cool superpower? Oh, Crystal.
That is one of the most useless superpowers I can possibly think of. All things considered. I mean, for one thing, most fish have really short memories anyway, so what useful information are you going to be able to glean from them?
That's actually false. Have you not seen the videos on YouTube of, like, Jackie Chan training a goldfish to, like, do tricks and stuff and respond to 2 languages?
Right, yes, because Jackie Chan can do it, ergo it must be the case.
Hey man,
Jackie Chan is magical.
Jackie Chan has never led me wrong.
Jackie Chan is a kung fu wizard and can't be trusted when it comes to normality.
Hey, I believe it is actually a defense in court now that you can say Jackie Chan said that I could do it.
I'm not sure which court you've been going to recently, I have to say. I have my doubts as to whether or not that's sound legal advice.
There's a shiny treasure chest out here. Do you want to come grab the stuff?
Ooh, shiny stuff, yeah. Biotic Engager. I just rolled 100, yeah, for this white item. Just what I always wanted.
Take this one as well. I don't need that.
What is it?
And it's for Blitz, so it might help you out.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I think I might not be able to do that with the overpowered thing that I have. So for those who don't know, there are pre-order bonuses, and we all bought the 4-pack. So we ended up with some OP items that are about level 25, I think, and you can use them from the start. It's kind of silly, but we use them right now because you also get a 10% XP boost, and we wanted to get a bit of a head start and get back to the stage we were in the beta, so...
You get... one of them gives an XP boost, one of them gives a 20% item find bonus, one of them gives a 50% DNA find bonus.
What? What? Seriously?
Yeah, it's quite weird. But the I mean, I'm now getting to the end of World 3, and I'm still using those. Like, nothing I've come across yet has actually compared to those. They're stuck.
I hate
that.
Oh
god, that's a lot of bats.
That is actually a lot of bats. Yeah, switch out to another hero. You're taking a lot of punishment on that one.
They're rather hurt on Wraith.
Yeah. God, this guy is amazing. He's actually a pre-order hero, and he's kind of a random hero. A lot of his stuff is really random, like his attacks vary base damage between 1 and 18, which is ridiculous. It's completely and totally random, but his one attack is 6 attacks which attack random targets. It is just silly. It's showers of blood.
Aquaman, crush!
Yes, quite. Beat the snot out of these guys. Now, the way that this game works, for those who don't know, is that you have various types of creature, and those types are weak to other types. So I believe if you have the same type as what you attack... Yeah, no, it's okay. Well, I'm not in it. I'm not in it.
Okay, it'll teleport you to the gauntlet thing at the end, so...
Well, yeah, we don't quite want that yet. But have we got everything on this level? I think we've grabbed everything, haven't we, by the looks of it?
Yes, we have. We missed a crystal somewhere, but it may be laying around. Have a quick check for it.
Okay, we'll have a look for it. Anyway, as we were saying, it's this, if you're the same type as what you're attacking, you take double damage, isn't it?
Yeah, but they don't, which I thought was rather...
That's weird. Yeah.
Yeah. But
really,
it can
really
be some extremely brutal situations. There it is.
Yeah. The thing is, you do get warned before you go into the level what you're going up against.
If you're continuing, though, you can't swap out a hero. However, you do get the ability to set up 3 squads, which you can unlock as you're going further on in the game. You can unlock Squad 2 and Squad 3, not at the same time, though. But it does mean that you can set up a full combination so that if you do come up against something that's going to cause you issue, while you can't fully customize the squads, don't do that. You can switch between the squads.
Are these permanent, or...?
No,
oh, they're the catalysts, aren't they? They're just
they'll
pots.
Disappear, yeah.
Okay. And you just... how do you activate these? Just by clicking on them, yeah?
They're passive. You don't need to do anything about it.
Oh, okay. That's neat. Right.
There's a Connect 4 system running as well, where if they're all the same color or prismatics, you'll gain extra bonuses. So you have to try and mix and match, which is rather nice.
Yeah, I like that. Do you think
and
that
because they reset, it's great.
Yeah, do you think that the fact that you have the ability to pull out 3 heroes at any given time kind of deals with the fact that the game doesn't have a talent system? I mean, it doesn't have a talent system, right? It doesn't have anything like that.
No, it doesn't. But I believe the squad system works really well in my eyes. I mean, if you have a squad of 3, you can do so much with it, and you can set up in so many different ways. This squad, for example, is built solely around Wraith. The 2 extra abilities that I gain from the other heroes in my squad when I'm using Wraith are designed to power him up. But you can do it the other way around. I don't think I have
that kind of thing yet. I don't think I've gained extra abilities from having other guys in my squad. Is that something you get later on?
Yeah, you'll unlock it before you hit the end of World 1, where you'll gain... oh god, I'm going to die. You'll gain an ability from each of your 2 other guys that can be used when they're not even active. So, for me, I've got the stacking Enrage that I can put on myself from Aquaman. And then I've also got an AoE Thorn thing that I can do, which was that from Viper.
Fair enough. So the point is that if you want to just use one hero and you don't want to be a squad guy, you can set it up.
You can pick 2 others
so
that complement them.
Yeah. Or, if you want to be a squad guy, you can set up that way as well, and you can switch between them. So you've got an option of having a more traditional Diablo-style dungeon crawler versus having this squad system.
Yeah, you could set up a squad that they, complement each other's abilities, or you could say it so, you're screwing 2 guys and you're just taking the one. It's a fantastic system. It enables so much customization, especially with all of the different variations there are, and the 100-odd heroes. Yeah. Now, there's
we're doing a continue in this one?
Yeah, there's a bug here, though. If I click continue and you click collect, it will bug out.
Oh, okay.
So
we'll both click continue then.
Yeah, everyone has to click the same option. So if everyone goes, oh, I want to continue, and one guy goes, no, I'm going to collect my reward, he'll bug out all of the guys that have clicked continue, and they won't be able to progress until they leave the party.
Okay, so we're up against mostly Necro and a few Bio, so my squad's perfectly set for this.
And my squad is all downgraded. All of them. Forever.
Oh well, we'll deal with it, I'm sure. Should be fine. I mean, I like I'll tell you, there's another thing I like about this game, actually, is the massive variety in terms of environment types. I think that's really, really awesome. You go to all of these really bizarre levels, and while they don't really seem to have any connection to each other in the story, aside from, oh, the Darkspore is here, and you discover sort of the story behind what happened with the Darkspore and things, they're not really all that connected. But because they look so different, I'm sort of alright with that.
The issue that I have with them is that while the mobs on them are randomly seeded, and the where the caches are and where the mobs actually are randomly seeded, the maps themselves don't seem to be. Not early on, anyway. It may change later, because I'm not that far in it. But the world seems exactly the same, just where stuff is different. So you may go wandering off up into a corridor that doesn't have anything there, and then the next time you do that world, there may be a cache there or some mob or
Yeah, there was definitely a lack of random generation there. It wouldn't be the first hack and slash. Did Titan Quest didn't have random generation, did it? In terms of its dungeons,
the worlds of Titan Quest were static, but the creature types were random.
Yeah. So it's kind of like this then, in other words.
Yes.
And of course, you had Diablo would generate different dungeons, and Torchlight randomly generates if you go to the randomly generated levels. If you do the storyline levels. Yeah, the maps, exactly. If you do the storyline levels, then they look the same.
More catalysts?
Yep.
Can you grab those ones, or...?
No, I can only keep 3. Can I drop one?
Yep, you can. If you want one of these ones, you can drop. There's a rare attack speed one there. I think you just
drag them out and drop them. That would be really nice for Blitz, actually. So, yeah, I've got 2 mind catalysts, which seem... There's a rare mind catalyst there, if you want that. I will nab the attack speed.
If you've got another rare one, or mind one rather, that would set me up with 3 generals, and I would then have a chain.
I do have another mind, actually, yeah. I've got an epic spiky catalyst and a rare attack speed catalyst, so I'll take the health leech as well. There we go.
I have a leech bonus.
Fantastic. That's a really cool system, actually. That's really unique. I've never seen that before.
The great thing I like about it is that when you start off with it, you only have your 3 catalyst slots, but the further you go, you actually unlock the ability to create diagonal chains as well. So you can set them up diagonal links as well as straight line links. So you can have, this nice little pattern of your catalysts that are all proccing off each other's bonuses depending on where they're placed in your little grid of 9.
That's really nice.
Fantastic system.
Yeah, exactly. I think my concerns about the lack of talent system are sort of alleviated by the fact that the game does have a lot of other things going for it, i.e. the amount of hero types. I mean, there's 100 total, and obviously they're different mixtures of types. There's like 2 types. There's the sort of element, I guess, and then there's the type like Sentinel, Ravager, and stuff. So
yeah,
a lot of different mixes.
There's the fantastic mix of tank, healer, or DPS. Well, it's not technically a healer.
It's kind of a support class, isn't it?
Yeah, and then there's also the Necro, Bio, Plasma, Quantum, Cyber, and I can't remember the other one. But I'm hoping that they're not going to just end up like, by the time I hit level 50, I'm not just seeing, oh, this is Wraith Mark II or Blitz Mark II,
Yeah, I have to wonder how much actual variety there is in terms of abilities. I mean, am I going to run into a guy that is pretty much the same as this guy, only fire? And I think because there's 100 heroes, there must be some element of that. They can't all be really unique. Although they don't have a huge number of abilities each, so I don't know. Maybe they did get really creative.
There seems like a lot of potential for different heroes. My primary concern is actually support after release. I'm really wondering where they're going to go. And whether or not, they're just going to go, okay, it's out the door, we'll patch it a few times and then sod it. Or if they're actually going to do DLC or updates,
Well, I like the fact that they had a lengthy beta, and they also seem to be really receptive to feedback. For instance, Maxis emailed me after the WTF is, actually. And they really did seem like they actually cared about this game. And maybe it's because it hasn't really had a huge amount of publicity up until this point, because it's a really weird concept. I remember when it first popped up on Rock, Paper, Shotgun, and people were just laughing at it. And it was like, oh, Darkspore, right, so it's the gritty, emo
Spore.
Exactly, emo spore. That was exactly what people were saying. It's like, what a dumb idea. This doesn't make any sense. And when I actually got to play the beta, I was so impressed by it. I mean, maybe it's because I had low expectations, but it was like, look, this is a really good hack and slash game, and it's obviously a PC game. It hasn't been released for anything else. It is a PC game through and through. It controls like one. It's kind of weird like one as well.
If you ever want me to pick up your game as a developer, create a hack and slash, and I will have a look. I love hack and slash games, no matter how terrible they are. I will have a look. So Darkspore piqued my interest as soon as I heard it's Diablo, but in the Spore engine. That to me instantly was like, I'll have a look. I'll definitely have a look. I'll most definitely.
It's such a bizarre idea as well when you think about it. Why would you do that? But it makes sense when you play it. It's like, huh, okay, so what's the one thing about hack and slash games that kind of lacks? And usually it's the fact that character customization visually is down to what your gear actually looks like. And you get dumb-looking gear that's got great stats and you get stuck with it. Whereas in this game, you can take any piece of gear and you can turn it into a detail item. So you can actually put it on your character. And obviously it loses all its stats when you do that. But even the items you get otherwise, you can change. You can change their shape, you can change their position, you can change their size, you can change their orientation. The only thing that I'm upset that you can't do mostly is change their color.
Which, who knows, that may come in at some point.
I hope so. I mean, I think that that's the kind of thing that the Spore engine we know can do. We know the creature creator is more than capable of doing that, so I don't know why it's not in the game. Maybe they had some kind of problem with it. Maybe it's something to do with the way that the things are animated, because the animation quality in this game is obviously a lot higher than Spore's. Mainly because I think Spore had to deal with the possibility that your thing could look like anything, and that's really problematic.
That really causes some limitation when you have to take into account every possibility and every eventuality. You can only go so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Whereas this game, they wanted a game that had really meaty combat. I think this game really does have meaty combat. It feels like you are eviscerating everything. Splats of blood everywhere.
Explosions are
explodes in gore and things like that. It feels slick in that regard. There we go. Just a quick freeze on the game. Probably lag, but nothing too bad.
The thing that's really impressing me in regards to Maxis and how they're behaving in EA is that if you go to the Darkspore forums, they are running a thread which is who's going to get to the end of the game first. Okay. They're actually watching, because you can go into the menu and have a look at, you know, how many people have actually got to what world and what their KDR is and how much damage they're dealt and all this kind of stuff. No one's actually got to 18 yet. I think the highest guy at the moment of filming is at 15. But they're actually keeping a track of this in a thread that they created, and they're like, oh yeah, let's see who's, you know, and they mentioned some of the guys from beta. And we're like, okay, let's see if any of these guys are going to do it. And they're keeping this thread updated, and it's actually getting rather interesting watching it.
That's cool, because to me, that sort of indicates that they do want to go in for this for the long term, because obviously hack and slash games like Diablo have had a massively long lifespan. Really stupidly long. And I don't think Darkspore will manage that, because nothing has up until this point. But it's interesting to see that they're getting the idea that this game, the end game of this game, is going to matter. That's what's going to give it the shelf life. And if it ends up being a good end game title, then people will actually buy it post-release, which is what people have been doing with Diablo for years.
Oh yeah, I mean, I missed the whole Diablo craze, and I picked up a copy about 2 years ago, and I know people that have picked up copies even since then.
It's good. And it's no surprise, really, because that game has a lot of stuff that you can do after you've beaten it. And then you've got the modding scene as well, which that's one weakness with this, of course. There isn't a modding scene. With a lot of EA games lately, there hasn't been. As far as I'm aware, there's no SDK and there's no way to actually mod this game at all.
I've not heard anything about an SDK or any mod scene in the future.
I don't think there will be one. Honestly, I really don't think so. And I think maybe because of the limits of the creature creator, and this is something else we should mention, it's nowhere near as advanced as the Spore creature creator. Like, you cannot change the hero completely. You can certainly change its appearance, but for instance, this little thing that I've got going on right here, this cross between a moose and an angry scorpion that I've got going on, it's still gonna be a quadruped. I can't make it a two-legged creature. I can't add extra legs or anything like that. It's gonna be stuck with this.
You can scale its feet and its hands.
Yes.
And apart from that, it's just basically, they've given you the template, go and stick Play-Doh on it.
Yeah. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but I think maybe that actually does limit the appeal of the game in the long term, because while Spore was a really poor game, in my opinion... Oh, cutscene. Huh. Oh, that doesn't look
Kill
pleasant
Jaden
at all, does it? Oh, one of those dudes. Right, I'll hit it with my rhythm stick. There we go.
Well, I can't use Wraith at all.
Alright, it's Necro, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just going to smack it about a bit and hope for the best. I'm not really taking any damage anyway. If it hits me, my probability assault gives it a bunch of random debuffs, so I don't think it's a big fan of that. I'm taking a lot of damage from it, though.
Unfortunately, I can't power up my Rage, though. I have to kill things to power up the Stamping and Rage.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to let it hit and... Oh! That's nice. Switching out to my Sentinel, I think. There we go. A bit of arc lightning going on. Lasers.
Switch over to Viper.
Always the way to do things. Taking a massive amount of damage. I'm going to run to the potion place, the chest. Oh! It's pulled me right back in again. That's nice. You're okay there for a second, right?
I think so. It summoned a little mini one.
Come over here.
Oh god, there's more.
The cache. Oh, wonderful. There's more health here. Come get it.
Kinda slowed.
I'll try and help you. Hang on. I'm gonna try and teleport in there. Oh, you really did find some more of these dudes, didn't you? Okay.
I make friends. What can I say?
Yeah, if we fail this as well, we'll lose all the loot. So we need to focus on one of these images at the time and take it down.
Get this bottom one. I'm feared.
Yeah, you need to switch out to something that isn't going to get you horribly killed.
Too late, feared.
I can't help but notice I don't think I'm doing much damage to this. I'm doing as much life leech as I can, but switching out. Are there any more chests in this area?
No, there's only 2, but we should be good.
I think we've got it, yeah.
And down he goes.
There we go. Nice. Very nice. Ooh, yeah, the bosses are not easy in this game, which is nice. I like that. And this is only the first level difficult. That's a lot of loot. That is a lot of loot. Let's just grab it all and hope for the best. Some arm blades there, I think. Okay, fantastic.
The items I got were white, otherwise I would trade you them.
Yeah, I'm not worried. But getting loot in this game doesn't seem to be difficult. There's an awful lot of it, so... Not too worried.
It's that whole case of you get tons of it, but most of it's junk when you start actually...
Junk, yeah, exactly. I think it needs a kind of auto-sell option. And an auto-pickup option as well, actually. That's something that I really, really miss from... Torchlight had that, didn't it? It was really easy to just pick up a lot of stuff. But then again, that wasn't a multiplayer game, so I suppose. Okay, but we're not going to look at the cutscenes right now. We really don't care. What we're more interested in is what loot we get at the end of this. Because after doing that, we can still continue, can't we?
I'm not sure if you can.
I can, actually.
We can?
Yeah, I can. I can keep going. So,
okay,
yeah, that's
continue.
Yeah, it's mostly bio and a couple of the yellow guys. So I should have 2 that I'll be fine with.
Success.
Yeah.
Race is useful.
Yeah, we'll deploy on that one. I think it's still a really solid title, though. I mean, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm not the biggest hack-and-slash fan. I tend to get bored pretty easily, but I think this game is suitably different to interest me. It's not a Diablo clone. It's definitely a Diablo-style hack-and-slash action RPG, but they really have sort of thrown away the rulebook on a number of things, although they have certainly kept it in others.
The thing that I really like about it is that I just seem to lose time in it. It's simple enough that I can just say going and play through, and yet complicated enough that I do need to pay some attention, but not to the point of frustration. So it is a case of, hey, where did those last few hours of my life go? And that to me is a perfect hack and slash when you don't notice that you don't notice the grind as you're getting further and further in.
Yeah, I also like the fact that all of the nonsense of dealing with gear and stuff is done outside of the fighting arenas. Because of the way that the mechanics work, where you're in a ship and then you go to an arena and stuff like that, you do a ton of fighting, and then after that you basically go through the spoils, whereas I think that in a game like Diablo, you get interrupted more often, because like, oh, I've got a piece of gear, let's go muck about with it. Is it better than this? And it interrupts the flow of the fight. Yeah. And this game doesn't have that
now, because you can't equip it anyway. So
yeah, exactly.
I mean, the only reason that we stop looking at the mobs and start looking at the loot on a planet is if something blue drops, which is the only highest level of tier I'm seeing at the moment. We stop, we have a quick look, and if it's any good, we'll throw it on the ground, because you can only use the recently received items to drop stuff while you are on planet surface.
Absolutely. So that's really, really nice. They've done a really good job with this, and it's weird because I don't think anyone really expected Maxis to be able to make a hack and slash game. It's not exactly their forte, is it? They're not really well practiced in it.
Cautious optimism was what I was holding, and I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it as well. I think that for what it is, they've provided a really well-rounded package. I think the people that play a lot of hack and slash and enjoy it are going to have a lot of content here, because we're talking about the kind of people that are willing to play through it again and are willing to do the difficulty levels and things like that. While there might be problems with the matchmaking system at the moment, the system itself, when it works, is really good. It's just that every now and again it doesn't work right now, kind of in the same as the beta was, but it seems to be a lot better than it was, certainly.
I believe most people that will be going to those kind of high levels will either make friends through their initial use of the matchmaking system, or will have those friends anyway. So matchmaking will play more of a secondary fiddle to them and when it comes to finding a party, because for me, it's a case of if there aren't people on the Cynical Brit vent, then I might have a look at matchmaking.
Hit the matchmaking,
the chances of, you know, finding people that aren't willing to throw down and play Darkspore at the minute is quite small. Also, we need to kill this.
It's game of the week right now. Okay, working on it.
It's going to turn everything elite unless we kill that mine.
Oh, the mine? Oh, the mutation agent. Oh my.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm taking a lot of hits here. Right, it's down. It's down. We're good. Whew. Yeah, it's game of the week right now on the Cynical Brit vent, and people are more than welcome to come along and play if they want. And the details of that are actually on the Cynical Brit page. There's plenty of space on the Ventrilo for people if they want to get involved in Darkspore. But I'm just really happy that this game didn't turn out to be a piece of junk, and it could have so easily been, because it's such a dumb concept when you think about it.
The really hilarious thing for me at the moment in regards to how other people are seeing this game is the amount of people that keep referring to Hellgate in the lobbies. There are so many people just complaining about the game, in the game, and comparing it to a game that overall wasn't actually that bad.
Well, Hellgate, yeah. Hellgate was okay. It had its issues, certainly.
It had its
Why
flaws.
would they compare it to Hellgate, anyway?
I believe they're comparing it to, in inverted commas, Failgate, which would be why they're comparing it. They're complaining about matchmaking and the longevity of the game, but I don't get why they're doing this in the game. It seems kind of pointless complaining in the game.
Especially since it's only been out a day and a bit. It's only been out, what, 2 or 3 days maximum, and they're already complaining about the game length? None of them have got to the end.
No one has got to 18. No one, not even the hardcore people, have got to World 18 yet, or Event 18, and yet they're like, oh, the longevity of the game is so tiny, and it's so easy, and it's all repetitive and boring. So have you got past World 1, really?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
the difference in the worlds.
It's so dumb. People will find problems with any game.
People argue about anything. Yep.
Yeah, I think the problem is as well that they had a very... Maxis were very open about what this game was, and they had the beta open for ages. So if you didn't like the game, then you had ample opportunity to test it out. I mean, for God's sake, wasn't the beta on Steam? Anyone could get into it. You knew what this game was coming into it.
Available. More catalysts over here. Crit and Dex.
Yeah, I'll pass on those. I've got an epic and I've got a rare. How long do these stay with you anyway?
Until you return to the ship, which is nice. So you can, when you unlock the ability to infinite chain, you could just work through it with a set of catalysts that you really like. But as soon as you go back to the ship, you then have to start looking for them again. Right. So it's something that you have to keep an eye on, and it's a nice little bit of like temp gear.
Yeah, I like the system. It's neat. And the fact that it links together in that weird way, which doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's not. It makes sense in terms of how it works. It doesn't actually make any sense in terms of hack and slash games. I mean, that's just weird, right? I mean, hack and slash games don't do things like that. I think it's nice to see a bit of innovation in the genre.
Yeah, I've not known many that have actually gone to the extent of, okay, we're going to give you this bit of customization, but this bit of customization is temporary. You can determine how long it's going to last, but it will reset and you'll have to do this nice little bit of customization all over again.
Yeah.
Which means if you find a really, really nice catalyst, you're going to lose it at some point. It's that kind of... You're going to have to keep looking for those things if you want them.
But as you were saying, you could, once you get the ability to just chain through levels and not go back to the ship, you can. It's a bit risk-reward, isn't it? You can choose to hold on to them for as long as possible. And if you do that, you might end up losing the loot that you've earned so far. I don't mean the stuff you pick up. We're talking about the loot rolls that you get at the end of the level, where you choose, like, do you want to risk it? Do you want to gamble it on doing another level that you might not be able to beat? And if you don't beat it, you lose the whole lot. That's really cool. That kind of risk-reward system is not all that common in games these days, especially not multiplayer.
Something I will mention is that if you do use that risk-reward system, it doesn't matter if one of your heroes dies, all three have to be wiped out for you to lose the loot.
Uh-huh. Yeah, which is, I mean, that's fairly reasonable as far as I can tell.
Oh yeah,
oh, it looks like I've managed to get the support system, from what I can tell, on my main character. I now can get Arc Weld and... oh, wow, I get Probability Assault. That's really good. That would be very useful for this guy. Because that just randomly debuffed... Oh, wow, I just randomly debuffed someone and it exploded. How good is that?
Stun.
That's what I'm talking about. There we go.
That's a bit of a severe debuff in my eyes. Random
exploding. Yeah, that is a fairly bad debuff. That's not the kind of debuff I personally would want, I have to say. We have an Elite Contagion dude right here.
Elite
I'll see if I can...
the Deadly Epidemic, who is unstoppable and has an unstoppable aura.
Oh, that's nice. So basically he's using the Plague then. Okay. We need to go break open the chest, I think. On a switch. Oh, he's probably one... Oh, no, he's bio. We'll be alright.
We also get extra stuff if we don't open them, so...
Oh, do we? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's neat.
You'll get gold medals, or silver medals, or bronze, which actually add to your rolls at the end, and affect your chance of getting the rare loot.
Okay. That's sweet. He's a bit of a ham actor, isn't he? He's not dead yet. Or is he just dancing? Hell if I know.
I think he's going to explode.
Oh, there we go.
Danced off into the abyss.
You can dance if you want to. We'll leave our friend behind. Right. Is this as far as we can go with the chain? Because I'd like to see some epic looks. I think we're kind of coming to a conclusion on this one now, aren't we?
Yep. I think that's the end of yours. I'm
4 gold medals, man.
We can go further or not.
We can't. No, we... Okay, let's collect. Let's see what we've got. Hopefully some good items. Come on, rare items. So that's 4 silvers and what's that, 6...
You got 6 golds?
I think we got 6 golds, yeah.
I got 5.
A 9, a 14, and a 97! Hell yeah. Rarefied Lito's Pale Chestplate. Sweet.
I sucked with all of my rolls, missing out by 1 on 2 of them.
Oh, that's mean and unreasonable, is it not?
Still
and then, of course, we go back to the arsenal. And we customize, and basically you customize the heroes and they will gain level depending on what items they've got. And there's my reward log. It has unlocked a bunch of... I can get a missile commander. Nice. That's a interesting unlocked hero right there. Oh, and I think we'll do a... I'm going to do
42.
I think so, yeah. I'm going to do a little bit of playing around with this. I still haven't got good weapons for my bruiser guy, my blitz.
You won't find feet or hands for quite a while. I've not yet seen hands, and I've only just seen a pair of feet on Event 3.
Yeah, I haven't got either of those, certainly. I could certainly put on this one, Rarefied Lito's Pale Chestplate. 5% chance to shock attacker when damaged, loads of HP. Smack that on there, there we go. It's pretty awesome. And then, of course, as you've probably seen on the videos, it's very easy to sort of recustomize it. Change its angle, change its size. I can have its little tabard right there if I want.
Regarding the editor, the thing that I didn't actually like originally, but has now started to grow on me, is when you're editing the pieces, you've got this nice white model. It's none of your colors getting in the way, so you can see the pieces and you can see the texture and the shape of each of the individual pieces of gear.
I like that, yeah.
At first I didn't, but it's now started to really grow on me, and it does enable you to actually see all the finer details of the piece and really kind of place it just right.
Yeah. Which is really, really nice. Yeah, I'm still wearing that star helm. It's item level 25, so the only one that I've got close to it yet is the Thermic Dread Eye of the Supernova, which is level 21, and that's still not what I'm after. But I don't like these pre-order bonuses. I've got to come out and just say it right now. I really hate them. I hate the way that they're done. Cool, give me like a unique skin or a pet or maybe even a unique hero. That's fine. Giving me items that are better than anything I'm going to get for several hours, that kind of sucks because half of the fun of a hack and slash is getting new items.
I have to completely agree. At first I looked at them and I went, wow, these are really awesome. And then I started getting gear on planets and it was just like, I'm not seeing anything that's better than these. When will I? And you go through another event and another event and another, and you're still sort of going, okay, let's go and add these new pieces. Oh, they're the same slot as this pre-order. That means that I'm not going to use it.
Yeah, that's pretty awful. I don't like that at all. I really, really wish that they didn't do things like that.
I have to completely agree on that one. It's a shame. I really wish that I had liked the pre-order stuff, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't detract anything, really. I've stopped using them from my own personal choice, so...
Yeah, I might end up doing the same thing because, like, as I said before, I like getting stuff. I like getting new gear, and if I can't have it, then that detracts from the enjoyment of this particular game for me. But if you have the actual willpower to avoid getting it and just saying, no, I don't want it, I'm not going to wear that, then that's really cool. You know, that's probably something you will get a lot of value out of.
One thing I would recommend doing if you are going to stop wearing the pieces is the helm, Zod's Dark Matter Star Helm, I believe it's called, which has the 20% chance to find items. Turn that into a detail because it does look pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. Right, well, I think we're pretty much done with this for the time being then. Final thoughts?
I like the game. The polish initially is good. It's made a significant impact on release in my mind. I'm curious to see the longevity of the game. I'm curious to see the support after release by Maxis. But they've not hid anything from us at all so far. So I'm really optimistic for it. No longer my caution is there. I am now just fully optimistic and looking forward to the future of Darkspore.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I would say as well. I think that because they've been so open and honest about things, that I have a reason to trust them. Incidentally, I've just put a Geordie LaForge mask on my evil moose scorpion thing, and I'm very happy with this. So, that's pretty awesome. Oh, wow, I can even put these little eyes on them as well if I like. There we go.
I've got a horrifically ugly one that has, like, diamonds and stuff coming out of it, so... That's horrible. I have a Chav Geordie mask that's got little jewels and gems and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Your mask is now diamonds.
Yeah,
that's what you want, isn't it? Yeah, I'm just blinging out my moose scorpion thing right here. It's a really solid hack and slash. It really is. If you are looking at a hack and slash game, you really can't go wrong with this as far as I can tell. And even if people are complaining about the longevity, you're still talking about how many hours does it take for you to find value in a game. And personally, if I get an hour for every UK pound I spend, then I think I've got a really good deal. And in this case, we paid, what, 23 quid each? So if we get a good 20, 25 hours out of this game, then that's me sorted. And I think there's no way that we won't get that.
I've already surpassed that, and I would say at least 30-40% of that time was in the editor. Even though it's been watered down slightly, I still spent a ton of time in the editor. It's
still fun. And we've got to stress that. It's not that they've completely neutered the editor. It just comes down to the fact that the editor has some limitations that we really wish that it didn't have. There were things that we would like to be able to do.
as you said earlier, I believe it was a trade-off. It's a case of what would you rather have? Would you rather have a game that has extra features in it, or would you rather have a game that's slightly less enjoyable when you're on a planet, but the editor is a bit cooler? And to be honest, I'd rather have a game that the editor complements rather than a game that complements the editor.
Yeah, and it really does complement the editor, doesn't it? I think that's perhaps the most important thing to think, is the editor doesn't feel weird.
Flawless.
Yeah, it feels like it's supposed to be there. It doesn't feel tacked on. It's not contrived. Yep. So there you go, folks. A look at Darkspore. I think pretty much a rousing yes from us, honestly. It's a really solid hack and slash. You could definitely do worse than having a look at it. My name's been TotalBiscuit. Thanks to Feartheflames for coming on and doing this co-op look at Darkspore with me.
Anytime.
And I'll see you next time.